Welcome to a very lonely edition of Legit Wrestling. Raw is brought to you this week from the Talking Stick Resort Arena in Phoenix, Arizona. This was filmed on July 3rd and broadcast live the day before America Day. I'm your host Mark, as always, but today I'm flying solo. I've got very busy schedules this week. Stuart and I couldn't quite coerce to make the show, so I'll do it all myself this week, and SmackDown will be brought to you on Friday by the both of us, as well as our Great Balls of Fire predictions. Let's kick on with the show. So Raw kicks off this week with a recap of Enzo and Cass, a very good video package there. Enzo comes out to the ring, and the Enzo and Cass matches in the books for Great Balls of Fire. Enzo cuts a very good promo again. A lot of people giving him a little more credit this week on social media for his great promo skills. It's got to be said. He says a few great lines, and he says he's climbed out of holes deeper than 7 foot. You're nothing more than a catchphrase that I wrote. Great stuff. Says Cass won't get any merchandise money unless he starts wearing a shirt that says Cass Hole. He really did go in and use his great mic work to draw some blood out of this rivalry. He drops the mic and then he sort of comes back in the ring and he's like, "Oh, I'm not finished. I've got something else to say." And then he kind of just spouts a little bit more and then leaves. So I think he should have left it where he did drop the mic. I think that was enough. But he does say, "All eyes are on me now." Charlie Caruso is backstage with Big Cass, who just kind of replies, starts talking about Enzo a little bit, and Enzo jumps him pretty much out of nowhere. He obviously just comes to the back, jumps him straight away. They get pulled apart by quite a few backstage individuals, and that's that. It's set for the pay-per-view, and that's the last we see of them for the evening. So we get our very first match of the evening. It's boss time. Bayley and Sasha Banks are going to take on Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss. You get little recaps of last week's matchup, and Sasha Banks and Alexa Bliss is sort of plugged for the pay-per-view, which I'm very much looking forward to. Bayley gets sort of taken out to the outside very early on, and she gets taken to the back. Basically, she gets put against the barrier, and I just steamroller, absolutely flattens her against the barrier, and she's pretty much out of the match. Sasha Banks then gets beaten down. Bliss and Nia Jax just dominates a 2-on-1 match now. The commentators get that across well. And then pretty much Sasha Banks pulls a bank statement from nowhere, and she taps out Alexa Bliss. Bizarre. Pretty much nothing match, but Sasha Banks beats Nia Jax, one of the people who've been plugging as this dominating individual and the women's champion in a handicap match in pretty much zero time. Things are looking good for Sasha, but is the old homage going to come into play where whoever goes over on the go home show kind of goes into the pay-per-view and loses? Who knows? We'll find out at Great Balls of Fire. Braun Strowman walks into Kurt Angle's office. He's wearing his merchandise top. Trying to get a little bit of a plug there. He doesn't wear it to the ring or anything like that, so it was weird seeing him in something that wasn't just a plain black top. He asks what Kurt's going to do when Roman Reigns cannot compete at Great Balls of Fire, but Kurt sources have told him that Roman Reigns will be competing and he will be fine for Great Balls of Fire. So Strowman demands competition, pretty much the same thing he did with Mick Foley when he was there. Demands that he gives him competition tonight or else. So basically, he doesn't really insult Kurt. He's just going to say, "You're an intelligent man, so you'll figure something out." And that was sort of the end of that. So we know we're going to see Strowman in action later on tonight, and whoever the competition may be. We then get sort of a good, I think we've seen it a couple of times now, but it's a good recap of Samoa Joe and Brock Lesnar and the whole package sort of thing. It's fantastic. Great to watch. Really hyped up for the pay-per-view now. Cannot wait to see these two just go at it, and looking like absolute killers in their segment later on in the show is fantastic as well. Cruiserweight match up next. Cedric Alexander faces Noam Dar, and Alicia Fox makes her return to Zero Pop, apart from Corey Graves, who's the only guy who tries to get her over. They get a great spot in this match. Cedric goes for a sort of handstand and tries to gets his legs around Noam's neck for the head scissors, and Noam sort of pushes his legs up and just kicks him to the gut. It's fantastic. Very unorthodox, but great to see. Great little spot. Crowd were really behind Cedric at a point, chanting his name, and I'm really hot on Cedric. His finisher is delicious. Noam tries a roll up to finish the match, Cedric sort of rolls through, picks him up, and hits a lumbar check, hits the finisher, and game over. Cedric Alexander stands tall, and maybe one of my favourite finishers in the business at the minute. It's great, it just looks so brutal. Welcome to the most must-see WWE talk show in history. Welcome to... Show's not here, so I'll do it. Miz TV. So, we get the Miz and the Miztourage. The Miz is out in a very nice suit. We find out why later. Basically, he's going to a July 4th party afterwards, a Hollywood A-list party, which is why he's looking so dapper. And the Miz, Maurice looking gorgeous as well. Bo Dallas, he still looked a bum even though he was wearing a suit because he had like the bandana on and he still had one glove on. It didn't suit him whatsoever. Curtis Axel looked okay. So they talk about the whole Ball family segment from last week, which was a little bit controversial in some ways. Talks about Dean Ambrose, that he can't handle success and how he's caved under pressure with titles in the past, which is a fair point in terms of, kayfabe wise, he lost the belt and he couldn't quite hold up when he was the main eventer. So out comes Ambrose again. It feels like these segments have just been happening for so long now. He wants a rematch basically on the night, and out comes Heath Slater. I'm just one man. Love him. Absolutely love the guy. And he comes out, of course, accompanied by the man Beast Rhino. He says that he was the last one to beat the Miz, so he deserves and he wants an IC title shot. And he plays a good point that he's never had a title shot for a singles title, and he's never really had a real chance at one. So I thought, that makes something you don't really see is him going singles competitor for a title match. So bring it on. But the Miz, of course, pops with the my hand goes up, your mouth goes shut sort of thing. It sounds like a sort of primary school teacher, elementary school teacher thing to say, which Rhino finds absolutely hilarious. He's just laughing his head off on the ramp. So Miz says there's not going to be a title match. He's going to a party now, and that's that. But out comes, of course, Kurt Angle. Kurt says that he's the general manager and he decides when the Miz will defend his title shot. The Miz sort of replies with, why don't you go speak to Corey Graves about your personal business. Again, it's not sort of plug, it's something that's just going on in the background at the minute. I don't know if they're ready to trigger anything yet, but I'm still bought in. Miz says he wants to defend the title at the pay-per-view, no problem, against Dean Ambrose. So that's set for Great Balls of Fire. And then Kurt Angle says, so I want you to take on Heath Slater next. And the Miz is like, in no condition to compete. He's in a nice white suit, and he has to wrestle. He ends up having to wrestle in the suit, which was bizarre. It was very, very tight on the legs. So the match sort of goes on. It's very much a lot of sort of attempts at a quick pin. Dean Ambrose is on commentary during this. A lot of quick pinfalls, headlocks, and then sort of running the ropes. And then the Miz splits his trousers. We're right up the crack. It's so obvious, it's unbelievable. And unfortunately, it's almost just like a distracting thing. But the match was okay. The match was good. Considering Heath Slater's not really considered a top in-ring worker. He's average at best, in my personal opinion. But he really brought it this match. The Miz gets the it kicks in. Heath Slater goes for a big sort of flapjack, I believe it's called. Sort of fire him up in the air, flop on the belly. And Rhino starts getting beat up by the Miztourage, and that distracts Heath Slater, but the Miz can get the skull crushing finale in there. Ambrose comes running in, but again the numbers game sort of catches up, and the Miztourage gets the better of them, and skull crushing finale there, and the Miz stands tall with his arse hanging out. We get a nice little backstage segment. Titus O'Neil and Apollo Crews are chatting away, and Titus is basically trying to talk Apollo Crews into stepping up to Braun Strowman later on tonight as the competition. Starts hyping him up and saying that you can make a name for yourself by doing this and really throwing yourself in the mix here. And if you beat Strowman tonight, Crews can't lose was the line. That sort of seems to be Titus' new thing. He starts sort of rhyming words and trying to get them over. So we'll see what I can get over. They sort of start chanting it for like 20 seconds, just the two of them. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I love the Titus brand, and we get a little bit more of them later on tonight. Goldust is in the ring. I think his entrance was through the commercials. He's in his director's chair, and this is the premiere of The Shattered Truth. And basically, it's the motion picture that they show, and it's just the beatdown from last week, but sort of from the in-ring cameraman's perspective. it was rubbish. Absolutely boring segment, and even with sort of, I prefer the whole Goldust backstage skits than this. After the motion picture finishes, R-Truth is standing behind Goldust in the ring, eating popcorn, and Goldust sort of notices we must come up on the big screen or something. Goldust sort of pops up out his chair, but R-Truth sort of gets a bit of a beat down on him, and Goldust runs out and gets away. And we'll probably see more of that next week. I hope not at the pay-per-view, even the pre-show. Not to. I was kind of buying into it slightly the last couple of weeks with Goldust's whole promo thing, but yeah, after last week and this week, I'm pulling myself out of the equation. I'm not enjoying it, and I can't wait for it to be over. So we get a nice little backstage segment announcing the tag match that we've said for a couple of weeks now on the show. You know, this match is going to happen, but it's not been announced yet. So they finally announced the match. Cesaro and Sheamus are in the office with Kurt Angle, who says, "I've got your stipulation for the match. It'll be Cesaro and Sheamus versus the Hardys in a 30-minute Iron Man tag team match." Fantastic. Really looking forward to it. This is only happened twice on WWE's terms, and the participants were, it was 15-minute matches. M&M, which was Joey Mercury and Johnny Nitro, took on Charlie Haas and Hardcore Holly, and another one was The Miz and John Morrison took on Jimmy Wang Yang and Shane and Moore. So these were the only two sort of Iron Man tag matches we've had. So there's actually nothing for it to kind of go up against. I believe these matches probably have happened on indie shows or other promotions, but in WWE that's the only two we have, so we've really got nothing to go off of on that. But with these two teams and the sheer ability they bring to the ring, I think we're in for an absolute stalker. Cesaro and Sheamus. Cesaro's an absolute Iron Man. Sheamus can, he's still a main event quality wrestler, but in terms of his character, it's just a bit bland. And then the Hardys are the Hardys, so these guys are going to bring it. And I think this match could potentially steal the show, depending on where it is on the card. I think a pretty solid opener if need be. Really looking forward to that. We also announced Cesaro will take on Finn Balor later on tonight, as he wants some sort of revenge. So it's just going to be a one-on-one match later on this evening. So we get Seth Rollins versus Kurt Hawkins. Kurt Hawkins has the mic, and once Rollins has made his entrance, talks a little bit of trash. Rollins takes the mic and asks the crowd, do you want Kurt Hawkins to stop talking? The crowd say yes, and he says, me too, and he just punches him in the mouth. Basically, sort of, once Hawkins gets back to his feet, they ring the bell, and Rollins hits the finishing big knee. It's not got a name yet. I don't know if they're still working on it or they're waiting for something natural to come up. And Rollins wins pretty much inside about 15 seconds, if that, 10 seconds maybe. He then grabs a mic, cuts a promo on Bray, says he's just going to beat him at Great Balls of Fire, and asks if he's a man or just a coward, and then leaves. No weird Bray skit yet, so we'll move on. This is the best segment of the show for me. Brock Lesnar and Samoa Joe are due to get interviewed backstage, and it's sort of like they're in a different room, and it's like a split screen, so one's on either side of the screen, and Paul Heyman's with Lesnar, and Michael Cole's like, I've got a couple of questions I want to ask you, and Joe's like, no questions. I'm sick of being asked questions. I feel like I've answered them all already because of the actions he's taken, and says he's got a few questions for Brock Lesnar. It was like a total back and forth argument. I'm not going to spur any of the lines out there. Basically, Brock Lesnar was laughing him off, and Joe was so serious, and he was like as if he was going to kill him. And this to me reminded me of, like, if you ever watch UFC or boxing and they do like the press conference where they sort of talk about trash to each other, it felt like that, but obviously it sort of separated them as if they were big stars and you couldn't have them in the same room. I thought it did the job fantastically. It really built this match up to be an absolute slobber knocker, to quote JR. It's going to be big, it's a big fight feel, two absolute killers, and they just want a piece of each other. So after a bit of back and forth and Brock sort of laughing it off and being really smug, Joe says, I'm going to go find him. So he sort of rips the mic off and he's getting really flustered, and he leaves the room, starts going around the arena to find where Brock Lesnar's hidden. The referees come along, Jamie Noble, and I don't know who the other road agent was, but they come along, they try and sort of talk him down, and then you sort of see Kurt Angle coming into the fray with like a bunch of security guards behind them, and then a noise is made, and Kurt is trying to talk him down, and a noise is made, and sort of Joe looks around and he realises that's the room that Brock Lesnar's in. So he sort of charges over and kicks the door open, but just as he kicks the door open, you see Brock Lesnar standing up, his wide stance with Paul sort of cowering behind him, with the title on. Security guards just all get round Joe, grab him, and it takes like 7 of them to pull him away. It's fantastic. It just looked like Joe was ready for him, and Lesnar was just like, I'm the champ. Who cares? I don't give a damn about you. I'm not worried about you. And it's really, I'm really getting a feel that Joe could genuinely do this. And it's like, I'm so looking forward to this match on Sunday. Everything about it has been booked so well. All the segments, all the build, it's going so well. And obviously, people complain that Lesnar's been out for so long, but when he comes back and these matches happen, it feels so much bigger than him being there every week. You know, so really looking forward to how the match goes. But that was the best segment for me. And sort of the last sort of clip is just Lesnar standing there with the title on his arm. Oh, he just looks like the champ, doesn't he? Really, really good. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Definitely worthwhile. So we get another cruiserweight match. It tends to be about 2 of these a week. It's Neville versus Mustafa Ali. It's a good match. Good cruiserweight match. Mustafa, he bumps really well for Neville. Takes sort of backflip bump from a clothesline, and he bumps from the top rope to the outside for him. And then Neville hits the rings to start and finish. I'm not really going to go into the match too much because it was pretty much a nothing, and we didn't even see Tozawa. Unless I missed the part he came in, maybe I skipped the entrances normally, so maybe I missed a section with him in it, but I didn't see him. So, you know, it was a good match for what it was. It's always good to see Neville on the show, but we didn't see anything with Tozawa on there. We then get a Bray Wyatt sort of vignette, the one I was expecting earlier, but it's a weird one. He's in the desert and he just cuts the Bray style, if you like, goes into the riddles and rhymes, and says he's coming for him. He's coming for Seth Rollins at the pay-per-view. So that match is set. I'm looking forward to it. It'll be good enough. There's not really any. I don't think there's anything in it apart from the good old you're a bad guy and you're a coward, and you're the good guy but you're not the good guy you claim to be, that sort of thing. Yeah, I'm not entirely sold on it, but the match quality will still be good. Charlotte Caruso, she's got her brave boots on backstage. She's interviewing Alexa Bliss, obviously, who took the back statement earlier in the show, against Sasha, and says that she decided that she was going to let Sasha win, and Charlie said, "Well, I don't believe you would do that." And then Bliss was like, "Well, that's why you're holding the microphone and I'm the champion." It was very weird. I don't really know why. Your interviewers are supposed to get the talent over and just ask the questions and that's it. But it was almost like she was trying to downplay the champion a little bit. I don't think Alexa's been booked as well as she was in SmackDown. We'll see how things go. She's trying to hire Nia, if you like, to kind of back her up, and she's kind of a little bit more cowardly. But on SmackDown, she's a bit more like a boss, and she could strut her own stuff. So we'll see how it plays out. I'm not as sold on Alexa as I was, so we'll see what comes of the pay-per-view. And it really looks like Sasha is angling for this victory. So I don't know if it was the whole "This Is Your Life" segment that put me off Alexa Bliss. It was one of the worst segments in years. That could have been the turning point for a lot of people, not just myself. Which is why she's not as over as she was. It's that simple. One little thing like that can really damage your reputation. So you need to find ways to gain that back and sort of change yourself in a way that the crowd are going to go, "Oh, that's new," Yeah, we'll see what happens at the pay-per-view. I think they'll both have a good match. I've never seen the two of them go at it one-on-one. So I hope they bring it to the table and it's not just a sort of a little 10-minute affair and that's it. Next up, we get the match of the night. Finn Balor versus Cesaro. Wow, these guys. I could have wrote so much more. I could have noted every single spot, but I didn't want to go on forever about how good this match was. Cesaro for me is probably the most underrated in terms of this guy's a main eventer, and granted he's holding tag championships and he's doing that division a hell of a good job. He's just so much better than what they're giving him. So much better. These two guys go for it. Sheamus is on the outside. Hardy's joining on the commentary desk. Which looked a bit full over there. All 5 of them around the one table. It's a great spot early on. Finn tries to do like a leapfrog, and Cesaro, instead of ducking down like most people do, he just stood there and caught Finn up, and he drops him down on a backbreaker. It was almost like a modified Will Tilt-a-Whirl backbreaker. It was fantastic stuff. There's then like a Finn sort of jumps over the top rope to the outside, and he was to sort of jump back over for a leapfrog. And he's done this a few times, Cesaro, but he sort of just catches him, and then without putting him down, gets him up and goes for a vertical suplex and hits it wonderfully. He's just so good. I love watching him work. So it's a relatively long match. I'm not going to go through all the individual spots, but Elias Samson comes down and he sort of just plays a chord on the guitar, which distracts Finn, who's sort of warming up for his big drop kick into the corner. That distracts him for a few seconds while Cesaro can get up to his feet. Finn goes for Cesaro. Cesaro does a sort of lift up European uppercut. Never gets old. Beautiful move. Gets a 2 count. And he starts doing a couple of uppercuts to the corner, and then Finn sort of knocks him to the outside, and you sort of see what's coming. He's going for his big dive, but it's at the opposite end of the ramp. So not the ramp side, the other side where the announce tables are on SmackDown. Finn then goes to the other side to do his big dive, and Sheamus distracts the referee while Elias Samson pulls his legs, and that's when the Hardys say to the commentary team, "Thanks very much," and they get up and they charge down the rampway, and they attack Elias and Sheamus. They'll start brawling. Cesaro sort of gets back in the ring and runs at Finn, who then throws him out to the other side where everybody's brawling at the rampway. And then Finn goes for his big dive and sort of lands on everyone, including the Hardys. They all sort of take each other out. They then start getting up and they start sort of hitting moves. Sort of you get a brogue kick, you get a twist of fate. And then Cesaro sort of almost the last man standing at the corner of the barricade. Well, Finn comes in, hits the drop kick into the barricade, grabs Cesaro, throws him in the ring, up to the top, through the gra. 1, 2, 3. Great match, bit overbooking at the end, which was in a good way. Sort of get everybody involved. You kind of got 2 storylines involved in each other already, so why not keep that up going into the pay-per-view? I'm not sure if Finn's facing Elias at the pay-per-view or if he's just going to be off it altogether, or if they're going to get involved in that match in some way. I'm not really sure, it's a strange one. I don't see either of them getting involved because, you know, Samson is only out there because Finn interrupted him, and then Finn's a babyface, so how would he get involved? Yeah, I'm not sure what's going to go on with those two yet. Maybe even a pre-show match I would accept, but to keep Finn off a pay-per-view altogether, it's a bit of a missed opportunity there. So we then get sort of a final match / segment of the show. An ambulance backs out, called the Scott Steiner music, the sirens. Strowman comes out and he cuts a very he's got a very grisly voice, but this time it was double grisly. I don't know if he got a sore throat or something, but when he came out and he cut that promo, it was it was so and I don't know if he was just over exaggerating it to an extent, or if it was just genuinely had an issue with his voice that day. But you know, he says he's ready for Roman. His promo skills aren't great, to be fair. He doesn't really need a microphone all that often. But he says, you know, Kurt Angle, if you find me some good competition, send them out. Out comes Titus O'Neil, cuts a nice little promo, and introduces Apollo Crews. So they get in the match and have sort of Apollo gets a quick flurry in. Strowman starts beating him down. Actually, Booker T calls Apollo Crews Apollo Creed, which many people have done so many times. I think The Miz did it back on SmackDown as well. The crowd's relatively quiet for this match. I think it was just a lack of Roman Reigns to boo. They weren't cheering Strowman as much. It's a very, very valid argument a lot of people are throwing out there. Like, Strowman's not that over, it's just because he's wrestling Roman. Strowman controls most of the match. Apollo gets tossed to the outside. Titus O'Neil starts really getting passionate and tries to hype him up and sort of send him back in. Come on, you can do this sort of thing. Getting him beat his ass. Was literally what he said. So in he goes and he starts getting this flurry off, drop kicks, and he wears him down to the mat. Strowman's flat on his back, so Crews goes for the standing moonsault. I've never seen anything like this in my life. He goes for it and he lingers in the air deliberately, of course, but when he goes for it, Strowman lifts his legs up and sort of just kicks him, drop kicks him, 2-foot kicks him in the air, kicks him on the back and sort of sends him halfway across the ring. It was absolutely brilliant. It was bizarre. I've never seen it before. Like, Corey Graves was laughing in the terms of, you know, I think he said, you know, I don't mean to laugh. It was just bizarre. I've never seen anything like that. And it was fantastically done. It could have been something that was absolutely botched. They could have really made a pig's ear of it. Yeah, they did well with that little spot. So Strowman gets him up for the running power slam, hits it, goes for the pinfall. The referee counts 2, and then Strowman sort of lifts his head up. He does another power slam, does the same thing with the count, and then does a third, and that's the 1, 2, 3. After the match, he picks him up to go for a fourth, and sort of Titus jumps up to the apron and pulls Apollo off his back, and then they sort of have a bit of a stare down. Titus goes into the ring. and they stare down, and Titus sort of throws a few rights, and they're very. He generally looks like he's trying to punch him right in the jaw, like like a working punch. You sort of hold the head and you sort of open hand, but it looks like he's really just going for the chin, and it looked pretty realistic, which was good. Strowman then goes for a big clothesline on Titus, takes him down, and hits him with a power slam of his own. He then he rolls it to the outside, he rolls Cruz out with him, and he takes him through the crowd up to the ambulance, which is at the side of the side of the stage. Throws him in the back, shuts the doors, and he sort of taps the ambulance twice, and the lights go on, but it doesn't move. So Strowman's like, huh? So he kind of goes up, smacks it twice again, and the sirens go on. So he's like, yep, good, and he starts to walk away, and the ambulance doesn't move again. So he hits it twice again, and the sirens now go off, and I was like, huh? So he looked so confused, Strowman, and he walked into the driver's door. You couldn't really see in it, so he opened the door, and then out comes Roman Reigns, of course. Gets a bit of a flurry in. Roman then gets tossed onto the stage. Strowman goes up to the stage. He goes to throw Reigns into the screen, but Reigns sort of reverses and does the same back to, sort of just throws Strowman into it. Strowman then sort of teetering at the edge of the ramp, and at the back of the ramp, sorry. And Roman Reigns hits a spear off the stage, through some tables and some cardboard boxes, and they got over really, really good at it, because this was right at the end of the show. Strowman gets back up to his feet very, very quickly, and that's where the show ends. Roman's sort of on the ramp on his knee, and Strowman's leaning against the back of the ambulance, so it ended pretty abruptly there. So it does sort of set up the match even more. I think, for me, what would have done it a little bit better was if he beat up Strowman so much that he could have thrown him in the back of the ambulance and evened it, if you like. So they've both been thrown in the back of the ambulance already. Then it's pretty much even Stevens going in, but if Strowman's already done it, in my mind, I'm just thinking, if Strowman's already done it to Roman, then Roman's got to get him back at the pay-per-view. But if they've both done it, then Strowman might have more of a chance. I don't see Strowman going over. I just think Reigns is their boy, and rumour is obviously he's going to go for the title relatively soon. If it's not SummerSlam, they're going to drag it out to Mania. I really enjoy watching Braun Strowman because he's a breath of fresh air, and he's something a little bit different. Granted, his mic skills aren't great, but I think for his size, his in-ring work's fantastic. I don't have a dislike for Roman Reigns in terms of his ability. The only bad match I think he's ever had was WrestleMania with Undertaker, and let's face it, Undertaker just couldn't go as well as he used to, which let the match down a bit for me. I don't think there's anything Roman did that was disappointing. I think the psychology of the match was still great, because Undertaker still got a great mind for it, and Roman Reigns can deliver on anything. I like these two guys, but you look at the pay-per-view, and you've got two outstanding matches on there. Strowman and Reigns again, which main evented Payback, I believe, and you've got Joe and Lesnar, a match that we've never seen, and a match that a lot of people would have on there as a sort of dream matches in WWE right now. So I'm really looking forward to the pay-per-view. I'm not going to give my predictions out. We'll do that one over the weekend, and we'll get them to you guys. I will say it was a good show. I hadn't watched it. Stuart watched it before I did, and he said it wasn't a great show. But I thought it was okay. I thought it was good for what it was. I'd probably give it sort of a C+/B-. I'm very, very generous. I thought it was a good show. It was a good go home. Nothing kind of got forwarded, but at the same time you can't forward too much, because you've got the sort of the pay-per-view coming up where you need to sort of, if you're going to advance a feud or finish a feud, that's when it's got to be done. So it didn't do any damage to anybody. Only real problem was Alexa Bliss taking a pretty clean finish, a pretty clean loss to Sasha, 6 days before the pay-per-view, and no Tozawa there to plug the sort of Neville match. I've no idea why that was. I do know that we were in Japan relatively recently. I don't know if that's got anything to do with it. Maybe he stayed home for a while. Who knows? But for me, it was a good show. I'm really looking forward to the pay-per-view, and I think that was the whole. I think if they'd done that and made you look even more forward to the pay-per-view, then it's a good show. So thanks for joining me. I know it's been me rambling on, and I do apologise that it's just been a very, very lonely episode. We will be doing SmackDown, myself and Stuart. Will be uploaded on Friday. And that's all. Thanks for listening. Do like, subscribe, and keep up to date, and keep commenting with us, and let us know what you think about the show yourself, and what you think about the comments we've perhaps made, whether you agree, maybe you disagree. And thanks very much. Do tune in for Raw. We will be doing a Great Balls of Fire special as well as our predictions will be up before the pay-per-view this weekend. Okay, thanks guys. Have a nice weekend. Enjoy the pay-per-view, and we will see you next week. Thanks very much.